And
Right.
if our destination is focus, if our destination is a good day, if our destination is not to be knocked off track,
Hmm.
then we have to pay attention to others just as much as we're focused solely um, on our viewpoint of where we're going or how we're feeling.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when my vibe is high and I come across somebody who's negative,
Hmm.
right? And a lot of times I don't know if negative people are intentionally seeking out to give that energy away
Hmm.
to like bring somebody else down. I think they're just driving.
Hmm.
They're just operating,
Hmm.
but they're in that frequency. They're in that state of consciousness.
Yeah.
So naturally, once we get in or we get around or we get into that realm or we get close enough to them to now be influenced by them, right? I think it just naturally brings you down just a bit.
Yep.
And so that's why I said sometimes it can be draining.
Completely.
Sometimes having your vibe so high around others who might not be as high as yours might be draining unintentionally.
Completely.
Right. So now when I come across somebody who, and sometimes, my energy might be low and I need to feed off of someone, but more times than not, I try to control it. When I come across somebody who might be having a bad day or might be in a negative mindset, and I start to feel myself, because you can always feel it. It's like a blow or a punch or a jab or a
Hmm.
stick, right? You feel it, doesn't hurt for long, but you feel it. You feel the
Sure.
impact. So sometimes I feel that impact, and I walk, and I feel that little dip in my energy, and I fight to get it back quickly. And I just remember that I can't control what I can't control.
Right.
And I think the big key of what you said was the understanding what slipping down,
Hmm.
meeting that person, matching that energy, allowing that to be um, more impactful than it should be, understanding what that's going to do to my mental state. Outside of neutrality, you can't be creative, you can't be productive, you can't be optimistic, you
Right.
can't be hopeful, you
Hmm.
can't, formulate dreams, right? If you're angry, if you're irritated, if you're annoyed, if you're frustrated, if you're allowing an antagonist to impact your vibe and to
Sure.
bring you down. And so I'm like, I'm not going to give that person that power. And it's not really about them. It's just about, okay, that was a little irritating. But if I worry about how irritating it is for long, now I'm allowing that moment to carry over and impact so many more moments of the rest of my day. And now
Completely.
we're past that. So let me just release it.
Hmm.
How do we release? And I think that's a big
Yeah.
key to it. Is it's easy to slip. It's hard to maintain a high level because we just operate around people.
Right.
We operate around different influences, music, what we're eating, other people, constantly manipulating and impacting and influencing our vibe,
Right.
how we feel in our energy. So how do we get back to neutral
Right.
once we're affected or impacted, right? Once that person slams on the brake
Hmm.
in front of you, or once that person cuts you off and ow, man, they just swung, boom, you feel that impact. How do you get back? And doing study and just researching, and um, there's a lot of knowledge and new science on what the mind does going in and out of different emotions. And they said that you cannot be in a state of gratitude and thankfulness and anger and sadness at the same time.
Hmm.
And so they are leveraging this with a lot of people who may be depressed or maybe experience chronic sadness or maybe going through some things in life, or like all of us, stuff just happens throughout your day and
Hmm.
it can hit you. So how in that moment can you bring yourself back and not to allow that one moment to now affect so many other moments? And they said immediately go into a state of gratitude.
Hmm.
Immediately trigger yourself into a state of gratitude, because you can't be thankful and angry and sad
Right.
at the same time. You can't be hopeful and happy and abundant at the same time of being in a state of lack. And so immediately once I found myself going the other directions, and what am I thankful for? It could be just, and it led me to learn how to be thankful for the foundational simplicities of life.
Hmm.
Because if you ask somebody, if I asked you right now, what are 5 things you're grateful for? Knowing you, my brother, you can probably come up with them pretty quickly. But you ask a random person on the street, they're going to have a hard time,
Hmm.
because we've got lost into so many wants and so many achievements, so many goals always in front of us,
Hmm.
that a lot of times we have now conditioned ourselves outside of the habit and pattern of being just thankful and grateful for what we have right at our fingertips.
Right. Right. Right.
And so in that moment of anger, irritation, or sadness or angst, when it affects me, I think, okay, I'm grateful for the time that I have to be available to even experience a bad moment, a bad
Mm.
day. It makes me grateful for life. It makes me grateful for the ability to breathe. It makes me grateful for my health at that moment. It makes me
Right.
grateful for the
Right.
opportunities that I have. If I'm
Sure.
at work, thankful for
Sure.
my job. If I'm in the car, thankful for my car.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Thankful for
Completely.
my family. Then I think about not being healthy. And it's like,
Mhm.
well, shoot, the only thing you want to be when you're unhealthy is healthy.
Mm.
Your leg hurts really bad.
Mhm.
First thing you say is, man, as soon as this leg gets better, I'm gonna be all right. If I can just have this leg feeling okay, it's gonna be great. But a lot of times, once we're feeling great,
Yeah.
we don't take that moment to say, I'm thankful and I'm grateful for feeling all right and not being sick and not being hurt and
Completely.
not being in a state of pain. And so, at the most simplistic moments in the foundational states, when somebody comes and rattles your bones
Mhm.
and upsets you and antagonizes you, just take a moment to be thankful for life, living, your family, your health,
Mhm.
freedom, anything of that nature. And I've learned, and it's been explained, that it'll tap you into back to that higher level of consciousness and vibrations, and to your point of control. It allows us to steer and maneuver the vehicle in our vessel the
Yeah.
way in which we want to,
Mhm.
right? And
Yep.
not constantly being misled by those external influences.